Hey, welcome back. Here we go, continuing on down the dark depths of wherever it is we are now. Does it worry anyone else that they've somehow gotten ahead of us as Valgard? What once was a hill has been twisted into a thin strip of land, pulled long like spider silk with a steep drop beneath. Warp shambled back and forth across it, but Bulwark is nowhere in sight. They don't need rest, Volker realizes with a shudder. Bulwark can confront us directly now while the Volca is alive. He's gonna send the herd all the way to Ridgehorn. Dang, spits Oli. It's exactly what we do, isn't it? I hate it. If it were us, we'd lure him across, lay archers to hit him from the wings. Some spears come to fill the retreat. Something tells me the warped can't coordinate like ravens, though. But what would Bulwark do with a bunch of drunk idiots? Volca mutters and thinks for a while. Make it look like a trap so we'd get fancy. My gut says we just rush it. Ollie has already drawn an axe. Then let's do it. Nobody stops until we're across. The ravens advance quickly. The warped are slow to respond. Slinger! Shouts Volca, noticing warped dredge hiding just over the ridge. Rush him. Oh goodness. I don't like any of this. I don't like any of this at all. The way things are going inside the darkness, I may have to change my difficulty back down to easy. Oh. That could have been worse. Accident. Oh, now you give me a critical hit, you bastard. This time the warp seemed even more organized than the last. That could have gone all wrong, Spar says, peered over the bridge edge, as the twisted rocks far below. Falco replies, yeah, we could all be dead. Come on, this isn't a place to give Bulwark another try. Small pale orbs wink at you from deep crags in the darkness. A brief inspection reveals that they're eggs. Skulkers, whispers Deech, pulling one of the creatures free from its shell, stabbed through by his dagger. The stone hurler who joined you at the Godstone looks upset by the dead thing. She darts between a few clusters, making scooping motions and nodding. Are you crazy? Falco. There's a lot of eggs, Ollie bemoans, squinting ahead into the distance. Makes my faint skin crawl. He doesn't finish the sentence. Imagine countless more eggs in every direction just out of sight. She finds a cluster of palm-sized eggs and begins gathering them in her sling, nodding as if to say, this is fine. You're not sure, as if more confronting, if it's more comforting or terrifying that she's unafraid, but nobody intervenes. Soon you leave the nest behind. The caravan stops to rest their feet and eat. The only good thing around the stand beacon we're walking around in is there's no reason to hide a campfire. The conversation turns towards some of Krumer's war exploits and devolves quickly into a rowdy debate about who could beat who in a fight. Alright, how about Deech and Bach, grins Oli, in a fair fight, asks Krumer. Bach and his girlfriend, no question. Deech pouts and crosses his arms as everyone else laughs. But I put my goat on Falco over almost any of you spindly milkmaids. He smiles. Not in a fight against Navarro. None of you have a chance. The ravens laugh. Well, who could hope to stand against the unkillable Krumer? Nobody yet, but I hope someday to face down a Sunder, says Krumer, Spar grinning. What about a Sunder Slayer? There's a long silence. What do you think, Sunder Slayer? Krumer asks, putting you on the spot. Think you could take me? I wouldn't even need both arms. The others respond with delight. Now that's something I'd pay to see, Falco says. But you know what I think? We need to get moving. The others grumble and roll their eyes, but soon you're back on the road. Oh. Oh. Oh, man. Brambles rise ahead of you like gnarled hands reaching towards the sky, their fingers peppered with thorns. This was once a healthy forest, now just another obstacle. Bulwark knew we'd have little choice but to pass through here, Ivan says. Going around would cost days. What's your gut say this time? Her tired head shake. It's telling. They'll use the trees so we can't tell numbers or direction. They're not worried about losses. Once they start coming, I don't expect them to stop. Standing our ground is a sure way to be overrun, but we should go now before they've really dug in. She pauses a moment before adding, this is gonna suck. until you start to become familiar with. The ravens do their best, but progress is slow. Each fallen creature is replaced by 2 more. Eventually, you find yourself stopped and surrounded. Cut a swath, Volga huffs. Before we can push any further, watch the flanks. Oh! Ah! None of this is good. No one in sight to these things. Wounded dredge explode, doing strength damage to all adjacent to them. Increases strength at the cost of armor. Takes 1 round to cast. Can't believe we got him. I think we better flee. Fighting through a forest is irksome at the best of times, nearly intolerable in these conditions. You break through miles of razor-edged boughs, gasping to catch your breath in the open air. On the hill arises Ridgehorn, finally. You see him? Says Volka. Bulwark stands motionless, far up the hill, clearly watching the caravan. Now I know how it feels for all those poor bastards who saw us coming. Hard to know what he's thinking at this point, says Oli. Expecting us to do what he'd do, or the opposite. Or expecting that we'd expect him to... You know what I'd do? Cook some food. Sleep. Bet he won't see that coming. You're just tired of walking, old man. Spar might be right. We'll make it look suspicious enough to throw him off, and everyone rest before Ridgehorn. No lookout, you ask? As they prepare the campfire, Focus shakes her head. That's what makes it look like a trick. But do whatever you like, I won't stop you. You put your trust in Volka's hands and lay on the hard ground. Time passes slowly. Soft crunches catches your attention. You swear under your breath. Grabbing for your axe, put your hands firm, finds the air. In a panic, you jump to your feet to scan the ground. No axe. The crunching gets louder, turning into thumping. Tree branches abandoned, cradled bunches of... Oh no. Bellower suddenly storms out of the darkness in gleaming red armor. There is your missing axe, jutted from the bleeding bundle in his arms. The ground shakes from his roar. Poor sleep, Ivor? Alfred asks. She crouches over the fire, her strange shape fluttering in the firelight. The campsite is still, aside from the gentle crackle of firewood. Just dreams. Some people think dreams are omens. Those people are idiots. But they can certainly be a fine distraction from our troubles. Not my sort of distraction. Sorry if I dredged up old memories back at the God's Stone, so to speak. There's more to that story. Would you like to tell? You've heard of one half already, how the Volca came forth during the Second Great War with fire and fury to push the sculptors to extinction. She gestures theatrically. So I've heard. Perception. Paint themselves the heroes. What the Volca really did was make their foes a promise. Abandon the war and they'd share secret knowledge. The Volcas taught them to write. They taught the stone singers to weave. And for the first time the sculptors learned how to make more sculptors to thrive. They kept their end of the bargain and remained hidden, at least until recently. How do you know this? They have their own history and carvings. I've read it on great black stones in their dark home. As their trusted guest. What I don't understand is why you trust these Volca. You stare into the fire and it shows you old shapes. When you speak it's almost as if to yourself. When I killed Rays, when I returned to my kind with her head. Yngvar, they chanted. None had slayed asunder before. They wanted to make me the king's kender. I couldn't. They haunted me, Bellower and Rays, and that damn child. Every night like tonight. Maybe it sounds like nothing to have bad dreams, but it rubs you raw. It gets in your bones. So I left the Varl. I found a small town of men where nobody knew who I was. Nobody called me Yngvar. Ivor. Never had dreams like that in Skoger. So that's why you agreed to come with Juno and Eyvind? The truth is, Juno didn't ask me to join them. I asked her. The flames continued to dance hypnotically. On the bridge in Einertop, I stood before Bellower. I could have moved, but I just held up my shield and waited for the end. What's that? Ivor? The name snaps you out of your trance. You stand and stretch your legs. Your axe is where you left it, and the ravens are beginning to stir in their tents. It's nothing. First he tosses in his sleep until finally he huffs and gives up. He sees you're also awake and comes to sit nearby. Trouble? I don't know how these damned ravens do it. I just can't pass out at a moment's notice. Are you not one of the ravens? Can see how you might get that impression. I joined Bulwark at Borsgard because the Volca asked me to, and when that went wrong I got roped into this like everyone else. First he wears a frown and leans on his axe handle. They asked for you personally? Let's not turn this into something bigger than it is. I do work for money. The Menders pay well. I've got some history with them, that's it. Alfred had something interesting to say about that. She said you tried to kill her when she was training to be a Mender. Gods, did I? Tried to kill so many Menders. That came out wrong. The Volca have pretty rigorous final tests for their new candidates. It involves some stabbing and some shouting. You know, to make sure the Menders can do what they need to do under stress and pain. So they get some scary looking Varl, me, to play the kidnapping brigand and rough them up. They don't all make it back. Still feel bad for one poor kid, can't remember his name. Some backwoods farm boy, not too bright. I thought for sure he had no chance. He almost made it. Almost. But anyway, Alfram was one of those kids. I've been doing this longer than I thought. Hope she doesn't hold a grudge. Percy wears a frown and leans on his axe handle. What do you think of this job? If you mean the Volco, you'd be a fool to trust them. I've done some questionable stuff on their behalf, let me tell you. And if you mean saving the world, I couldn't care less. What has the world ever done for me? These days I'm just putting one foot in front of the other. There's still the tiniest sparkle of hope that I might profit from this somehow. Pretty bleak way to live. Nothing left to lose. Nothing but sleep anyway. So you work for yourself? Never could get into that our bones, the hills stuff like the rest of you. Why should I care about the dredge or dying in battle? I'd rather have the means to do what I want, live comfortably, eat well. Turns out there's a lot of men out there thrilled to hire a ball for some blood work, so I thought I'd do that for a little while. Now it's a lifetime later, and I've never gotten rich from it. Spent my whole life chasing work while others profited. One time I traveled with a prince and his tax collector. Thought that was going to be my big payday. People just handed their money over, brought it right into a huge cart because we told them they had to. Practically robbery. Eventually the cart fell over a cliff and exploded into a shower of gold coins, never to be seen again. I never shed a tear over killing a man, but that, I cried like a lost baby bird. It happened pretty damn close to this very spot, now that I think about it. Can't leave this darkness though. It's probably all twisted up and dark as dog turds now anyway. Maybe that's a moral there, that I'm not digging for it. Keep the rest of your thoughts to yourself. It'd be an awkward silence if you weren't both Varl. Looks like it's time to get going. You know, Ivor, you can tell he's debating whether to get something off his chest. When I worked for the Volco, one of the jobs they paid me to do was find you. You got into hiding and they want to know where. Do I dare ask why? Truth is, I don't know why. I don't ask questions, but I never found you. I had a feeling if I had, things would have ended up differently between us. So I'm glad I never sniffed around any small towns like Skoger, for example. Percy leaves with a pat on the shoulder and you realize you never mentioned Skoger to him. Huh. I can see the tower just over this ridge. That means Bulwark's close too. Bulwark is waiting ahead, Juno says, and the caravan slows. He is patient with dangerous allies. I believe he intends to stop us from entering Ridgehorn. I will lead Bulwark away, Juno says. Ivan looks blankly into the distance, as though he already knew what was coming, but Juno continues. The rest of you away from my return within Ridgehorn. How are you going to deal with Bulwark? He cannot be controlled, but he can't be misled. He doesn't know where we're headed, and will believe he is pursuing us past Ridgehorn. I'll return one way or another. Falca steps forward. I don't trust you, and even if I did, you can't handle Bulwark on your own. We split the caravan. She volunteers herself, Ollie spar. And who give each other dubious looks. Volca adds, I don't take orders, remember? Unbelievable, you two, Volca shouts. Fine, Juno, but if you have any thoughts of screwing us over, just remember who you left Ivan with. Juno departs ahead of the caravan until her own light disappears over a hill. The rest of the caravan cautiously approach Ridgehorn, Ivan carrying the light. Fresh footprints trail off into the snow, following Juno's diversion. The way appears clear.
I've been told this is where they found Juno the first time. Now they say it's the entrance to another world. How far had she already come just to fall here?
That tower is floating. Ridgehorn. Ivan curses when he sees the rubble around Ridgehorn's tower. The tremors caused by the serpent must have caused many structures to topple here. There should be a doorway leading to... Give me some time, he says, running off toward the base of the tower. You can see him waving his Volca staff, heaving enormous chunks of rock aside through sheer willpower. Let it help, shouts Valgar, drawing your attention back to the fort's courtyard. Volberg is nowhere in sight, but his warped allies didn't miss you slipping over the bridge. Damn it. Well then let's do it. Here we go. Ow. Ow. Oh no. Come Come on, man. This is ridiculous. Damn it. It is done. Well, at least you came back. God damn it. Well, yeah, he's down. Seriously? Yep. Yep. When you're exposed, she becomes a ghost, invisible and invulnerable to enemies. As a ghost, Juno cannot attack or use abilities, but she can move. She can collect fonts of dark energy that are visible. Each one that collects both the source will help when Juno is maximizing. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. That was an accident. Damn. Yeah. A lot of people got hurt. If this is what Bulwer can bring you to bear, you can only imagine how much worse it would have been if he were here. The troubled chatter of the ravens turns to stone-cold silence as a figure glades through Ridgehorn's camp. Crossing the bridge, it almost appears as if she is floating in her own wind-blown dress, pale as a specter. She crosses the courtyard wordlessly, heading up the tower. In your head you hear a thin voice, "When you are ready, join me." She must have given Bulwark the real runaround, says Spar. He keeps glancing at the bridge as if expecting to summon the berserker by name alone. I think I better make sure Ivan's almost done. How about I whistle when it's time to go? Offers to ferry you anywhere you need to go. Oh no. Spar sits on a rubble of ruin, watching Ivan move vast slabs. He fidgets with an ornate mead horn. Good a time as any to give you this, Varl. I notice you got no drinking horn, and that's no way to live. I don't care to drink from a yok's horn, old man. Nay, nay, does this look like a sodding yok's horn? It's carved from the tusk of a gold boar. Shines even in full black. Okay, so I've never seen a real gold boar, but I did steal it a long time ago from a very rich man, and he seemed pretty convinced. Focused at me with her eyes when I told her I was giving it to you. What made you think of this now? Oh, I don't know. Been down a lot of roads. Got a feeling I might not see the end of this one. I don't want to imagine Deitch using it for some disgusting thing after I'm dead. But why give it to me? Tradition, Varl. These young folk don't know respect. They don't remember a time when it was right to honor a guest. I don't care what any of them say. You're doing a fine job. Look here. That's history carved there. Before banners and tapestry. See the little armies? The tusk does seem to shimmer on its own. Carved figures almost look like they move as you roll it on your hands. I can't keep this. Take it, take it. It's not getting me late anymore. Not like this laying spill anyway. He smiles, pleased with himself. Where'd you learn to play? What do you mean? Who taught me? Nay, nobody taught me. It was a festival. Biggest of the year. By all rights too young to hold my drink, sipping from every unwatched cup I could find. That's a spat happening. One guy built like a bear, howling at another man over his girl. Or I don't remember. Doesn't matter. This poor bastard, he's a mouse. You ever seen one of those guys? Thin beard, wide eyes, ready to run. The brute comes at him with a knife pulled right out of his dinner, and the mouse is soiling himself, climbing over tables to get away. Everyone's loving it. Even the musicians stop to watch. I'm off my head drunk, and I'm thinking, by the gods, this needs a good song. So I grab an instrument and go wild, sawing and screaming. The thing just sings in my hand. At least in my head it's a masterpiece. Must have sounded like a boiled cat. The mountain of a man. He slowly looks over at me with the most complete confusion I've ever seen. I just remember the next moment there's a knife in his neck. The mouse got him. Even drunk as I was, I knew it was because of me. I've been playing ever since. Frankly, it's a damn tragedy wasting my time on these ungrateful monsters. He smiles, pleased with himself. You don't seem too upset about facing death. Upset about dying? Well, I'm more upset about living. Do you know what it's like taking a piss 3 times a night but only waking up twice? No, death sounds fine. It sounds fine. But I'll tell you what, I'll miss my life. The secret for us poor bastards with short lifespans, it's love. Sounds like a bunch of rot, I know, but if you don't love life, it'll make you miserable. Learned that from a lady friend. If these two don't find this passage soon, Bulwark will feign us right in our puckered asses. Okay. Thanks for the horn. I'll make sure no one does anything disgusting with it. Well, yeah, best enjoy it while you can. I mean, might as well. -1 move, 80% maximum chance to hit.